So this hexagon right over here, the whole thing is filled in with this pink color. So we'll say that this represents one whole. The whole thing is filled in. Now what I want you to think about is which of these other hexagons have 2/3 filled in. So our goal is to identify the hexagons that are 2/3 filled in. So pause the video now. So I assume you have given a go at it. You have tried to determine which of these are 2/3 filled in. Now let's work on this together. So when you're thinking in terms of thirds, and here we're thinking in terms of 2/3, literally 2/3, what we think about is dividing things into 3 equal sections. So let me see if I can draw a hexagon fairly well. So let me draw the hexagon. And I'm going to try to split it up into 3 equal sections. Whoops. I'm going to try to split it up into 3 equal sections. So this is the center of the hexagon right over here. And so maybe that's one of the equal sections. And then if I do one more line, I've split it up into 3 equal sections. 1, 2, 3. It's actually kind of neat the way that it's drawn. It looks like a 3-dimensional cube, but that was not my intent. My intent was to draw a hexagon. So let me just, so each of these is a third. Actually, I could write this. That's 1/3, that's 1/3, and this is 1/3. But we care about is 2/3. So 2 of these 1/3. And so let me clean this up a little bit. So I would fill in 1 of the 1/3 and then 2 of the 1/3. And this right over here, this hexagon that I've just drawn now has 2/3 of it filled in. Now I know what you're thinking. All right, Sal, that would have been pretty straightforward if these were divided into thirds, but these are not divided into thirds. Each of these are divided into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 equal pieces. This is divided into sixths. How do we figure out how many of the sixths should be filled in order to have the same thing as 2/3? Well, I would tell you, don't worry too much. All we have to do is we can redraw this, or we can do a little bit of work here to split this into, instead of 3 equal sections, we can split into 6 equal sections. Well, how would we do that? Well, we take each of those 3 equal sections and then split them into 2 equal sections. So this one right over here, I could split this into 2 equal sections. This one right over here, I could split into 2 equal sections. This one right over here, I can split into 2 equal sections. So I had 3 equal sections before. Now each of them have been split into 2, so now I have 6 equal sections. So now, the way I've drawn it, I'm dealing with sixths. And how many sixths represent the same fraction as the 2/3 did? Well, I still have my shaded area. I have 1, 2, 3, 4 sixths. So 4 sixths is the same thing as 2/3. Or another way to think about it, any of these that have 4 out of the 6 equal sections filled in, that means that 2/3 of the sections are filled in. Or I could say that 2/3 of the hexagon is filled in. So let's just look at these. So this one, we have 1. Well, let me do it in a color that has a little more contrast. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 out of the 6 is filled in. 4 6 are filled in. That's the same thing as 2/3. So this one represents 2/3. This one only has 2 of the 6 filled in. So it's not 4 6, which has to be 2/3. This is 2 6. We want 2/3. This one is 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 of the 6 are filled in. So this is 2/3. So I will put a square around that one. And this one has 1, 2, 3, 4 of the 6 filled in. So this is 4 6, which we've already figured out is the same thing as 2/3. And we're done.